BZMC TV, where we bring you hot music, dope interviews, and news stories that's rocking the world. Tonight I'm going in my bag while I do my history. Some of you might think that, you know, sometimes when a person is showing you history and giving you knowledge of self, that you might think that shit is boring. Give me a second, y'all. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, y'all. Like I said, man, I be coming with history and shit. You might think that's boring and shit, but I gotta have a balance to this shit for my people. Cause I could show you party busy. I could show you insightful busy. But I gotta show you the intellectual busy at the same time. So it'll be a perpetual balance in the universe. So on tonight's lesson, family, because this is teaching tonight, this is teaching and talking. It's not the bullshit tonight. You know what I'm saying? I come with you every now and then with that. Alright? But we're still gonna have fun tonight. Tonight we're gonna talk about, like I promoted previously when I was talking about convict leasing, where they take their black prison labor population and turn them into profitable labor for their businesses, which still goes on today. This shit real serious, family. You think when your people go to prison that they there to do their time and pay their debt to society? They're doing more than paying their debt to society. Then they're being slaves, man. What a world we live in, man. We still have that type of phenomenon going on. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in to BZMC TV, because without y'all, BZMC TV would be nothing. Shout out to all my day ones that fuck with me with this shit, man. We live in Atlanta still. I'm still in Atlanta, man. Y'all see me, man, nigga. I'm like this everywhere I go, nigga. God walks the earth, nigga. I'm here to enlighten my people and educate the masses. If you deaf, dumb, and blind, you don't understand what I'm saying, get the fuck off my shit, man. I'm here to educate my people. So without further ado, man, we gonna get into this conversation. New York, what up?
From 1884 until 1928. In convict leasing, state-run prisons profited from contracting with private parties, from plantations to corporations, to provide them with convict labor. During the term of the contracts, the lessees, rather than the prisons, bore all cost and responsibility for overseeing, housing, feeding, and clothing the prisoners. Key takeaways: convict leasing. Convict leasing was an early system of prison labor that existed from. Convict leasing existed mainly in the southern United States from 1884 until 1928.
Yo, man, that's motherfucking recently, man. They talking about from 1924, it ended. I was born in 1974. That's 50 years before I was born, man. And they're still doing that to this day. And I have an example at the end of this presentation for y'all, because I don't hide shit from my listeners and from my fans. I got something to tell y'all and why I take this very personal. So we're going to keep listening, and we're going to keep getting educated on how they're making money off the prison population.
Convicts were typically leased to operators of plantations, railroads, and coal mines. The lessees assumed all costs of housing, feeding, and overseeing the convicts. The states profited greatly from convict leasing. Most leased convicts were recently freed African American slaves. Many leased.
Did y'all hear what that computer program just said? Many slaves were part of this program, newly freed slaves, because why? They wrote in law to make it illegal for slaves to be homeless, bruh. So they automatically going to jail, and then what? They're automatically going right back into slavery with the prison system. Abraham Lincoln ain't freed a motherfucking thing. Don't go around getting it twisted. Abe was cool, but Abe ain't no friend of ours, bruh. He ain't signed the right shit. We still the slave once we get in the prison population. That's why they targeting us to go to jail. That's why they targeting us to kill us on the street, because they know that we are only slaves to motherfucking make them profit. Our lives mean nothing because the Constitution ain't changed. That's why lives don't mean nothing. They talking about Black Lives Matter. No, it don't, because the laws ain't changed. You still 3/5 a man, black man, in the motherfucking Constitution? You still 3/5 of a man. Facts. And then they got into weird with Abraham Lincoln after the Civil War tell you that you can still be a slave once you get incarcerated. Look up that amendment. Man, bro. Y'all, hey, bro. Y'all better get educated on this shit, man. Tell you something, man. Stay on the straight and narrow, man, because they can turn you into a legal slave.
Convicts suffered inhumane treatment. Public opinion, economic factors, and politics led to the abolishment of convict leasing. Convict leasing was justified by a loophole in the 13th Amendment.
Didn't I just tell you that? The 13th Amendment. Look it up. They used a loophole in the 13th Amendment to put that in the prison clause, so where if you ever become in prison, you could become a slave. I just told y'all that. This life is crazy, man, ain't it?
Most historians consider convict leasing to have been a form of state-sanctioned slavery. While it was first used by Louisiana as early as 1844, contract leasing spread quickly after the emancipation of slaves during the period of American Reconstruction.
It surged because a lot of slaves became homeless once the slave masters was kicking them off the plantations. So instead of them letting them build and have their little settlements and do what they had to do, they would label them homeless and have them incarcerated for slave labor under the penal system. Are you understanding me on this shit? Are you walking down the street with me on this shit, man? Are you doing that?
Following the end of the Civil War in 1865.
Walk with me.
As an example of how the states profited from the process, the percentage of Alabama's total annual revenue generated from convict leasing increased from 10% in 1846 to nearly 73% by 1889.
Almost 1900. God damn, man. Hey, bro, this shit is serious. What we looking at, man? We are looking at something serious right here. They're saying it stopped, but it's still going on today, because I got something to share with you, family, about this shit, man. I have a personal experience about this particular dynamic.
Fine. As a result of aggressive and discriminatory enforcement of the numerous black codes laws passed in the South after the abolishment of slavery, the majority of prisoners leased out by the prisons were black. The practice of convict leasing extracted a substantial human cost, with death rates among leased convicts running about 10 times higher than death rates among prisoners in non-leasing states. During 1873,
you think because they're expendable, and expendable means they can be replaced. And I've read another story that they had places where they was breeding black people just to be locked up. I was reading that. I'm in the middle of it. I was trying to get a better understanding on this situation. And how would they acquire the people to keep it running? They was running like actual nigger farms. Wow. Like actually breeding Negroes, Black Americans, Native Americans, whatever you want to call yourself, Egyptian, Israelite. They was breeding your people.
For example, 25% of all black leased convicts died while serving their sentences. Despite its profitability to the states, convict leasing was slowly phased out during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, largely due to negative public opinion and opposition from the growing labor union movement. While Alabama became the last state to end the official practice of convict,
and Alabama became the last state, and y'all Negroes still want to stay in Alabama. Shout out to Alabama. Shout out to all my niggas out there. I know some real niggas in Alabama. This ain't got nothing to do with being a real nigga in Alabama. But I get the fuck out of there. That place don't mean no black person no good. And I'm sorry. They the last state to end that shit in 1928. That's like 40 years ago. Ain't nowhere in the world I'll post up down there. And I love everybody. But everybody don't love me. That's the thing about that shit, everybody. I love everybody. I love all race, creed, colors. I don't care if you're in a wheelchair. You cool. I'm going to slap you some that. But everybody don't love me.
Leasing in 1928, several of its aspects remain as part of today's growing prison industrial complex. The evolution of convict leasing. On top of its human toll, the Civil War left the South's economy, government, and society in a shambles. Getting little sympathy or aid from the U.S. Congress, the southern states struggled to raise money to repair or replace damaged infrastructure.
You think the North gonna win gonna win the Civil War and then gonna have to help them get money to get back on their feet? Of course they're not gonna do that. And that's why they try to justify this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep listening.
Including prisons, most of which had been destroyed during the war. Before the Civil War, the punishment of slaves had been the responsibility of their owners. However, with a general increase in both black and white lawlessness during post-emancipation Reconstruction, the lack of available prison space became a significant and costly problem. Having elevated many petty misdemeanors to felonies requiring jail time, enforcement of the former slave-targeted black code laws greatly increased the number of prisoners needed.
Oh yeah, and you know what? And I was looking up this shit long time ago, family. It was called the Black Codes, where it was illegal for like 5 black people standing in the corner and congregate. As a black person, you couldn't stand and be in a corner with like 15 of your people. You couldn't do that. It was against the law. Those kind of laws existed. And the English brought that shit over here, if I'm wrong. The English brought that over here, and it was first instituted in New York. I think it was, or the South. I don't know. Correct me on that if I'm wrong, but it was instituted in this country by a foreign thing. Okay, but we're going to keep listening.
Housing. As they struggled to build new prisons, some states tried paying private contractors to confine and feed convicts. Soon, however, the states realized that by leasing them out to plantation owners and industrialists, they could turn their prison population from a costly liability into a ready source of revenue. Markets for imprisoned workers soon evolved as private entrepreneurs bought and sold convict labor leases. The ills of convict leasing revealed. Having only a small capital investment in convict workers, employers had little reason to treat them well compared to their regular employees. While they were aware that convict laborers were often subjected to inhumane living and working conditions, the states found convict leasing so profitable that they were hesitant to abandon the practice.
And it goes back to, I remember that movie, I hate to get off track, but remember that movie Prison Song with Q-Tip and Mary J. Blige? And Q-Tip went to jail and Mary J. Blige went crazy, man. Sad ass fucking movie. I love that movie, man. Shout out to them acting in that movie, man. I loved it. I absolutely loved the movie. Even the little kids that was acting as Q-Tip and all that when they were little and shit, I loved it. But yeah, man, Q-Tip went to jail and they was cleaning out this building under contract to this prison. Under contract to this prison because they was using these boys, and the boys was telling the people that it's asbestos in the building. And the guard was like, fuck out of there, get it, just get in there. And some niggas backed up, and it was their free will. And the police just took them back. But some niggas just went in anyway and worked in there for that $3 a week. I'm gonna tell you a story when I'm finished.
In his book, Twice the Work of Free Labor, The Political Economy of Convict Labor in the New South, historian Alex Lichtenstein noted that while some northern states used convict leasing, only in the South was complete control of prisoners turned over to the contractors, and only in the South did the places where convict laborers were.
That's why private prisons exist.
Become known as penitentiaries. State officials neither had nor wanted any authority to oversee the treatment of leased prisoners, choosing instead to give the employers complete control over their work and living conditions. Coal mines and plantations were widely reported to have hidden burial grounds for the bodies of leased prisoners, many of whom had been beaten to death or left to die from work-related injuries. Witnesses told of organized gladiator-style fights to the death between convicts staged for the amusement of their overseers. In many cases, the court record of convict workers were lost or destroyed, leaving them unable to prove that they had served their sentences or repaid their debts. The abolition of convict leasing.
Don't that sound familiar? When a nigga say he got lost in the system? Believe that shit, man. When nigga tell you that shit for real, they'll lose you in the system.
While reports of the evils and abuses of convict leasing in newspapers and journals brought increasing public opposition to the system at the start of the 20th century, state politicians fought to maintain it. Unpopular or not, the practice proved extremely profitable for the state governments and the businesses that used convict labor.
You think?
Slowly, however, employers began to recognize the business-related disadvantages of forced convict labor, such as minimal productivity and lower quality of work. While public exposure of the inhumane treatment and suffering of convicts surely played a part, opposition from organized labor, legislative reform, political pressure, and economic realities ultimately spelled the end of convict leasing. After Alabama became the last state to formally abolish state-sponsored convict leasing in 1928. In reality, however, convict labor had been more transformed than abolished.
Didn't I say that? And I took you back all the way to that movie Prison Song. And that was like a couple of years, a decade or two ago, they made that movie. Not that long ago. Not that long ago, man.
Faced with the costs of housing prisoners, the state turned to
I'm sorry. Do you understand this shit is not that long ago? This is Busy MC TV. These are my views. These are my thoughts. Anybody that have on my show, anybody that's affiliated with the show, has nothing to do with the expressed views and words that come out of Busy MC mouth. These are my words. These are what I'm saying. I don't get this from nobody. Ain't nobody teaching me this. This is my freedom of expression if I have it. It's fucked up.
alternative forms of convict labor, such as the infamous chain gangs, groups of convicts forced to work on public sector tasks such as road construction, ditch digging, or farming while chained
I got a story, y'all.
together. Practices like chain gangs persisted until December 1941, when President Franklin D. Roosevelt's Attorney General Francis Biddle's Circular 3591 directive clarified federal regulations for handling cases relating to involuntary servitude, slavery and peonage. Was convict leasing just slavery? Many historians and civil rights advocates contended that state officials had exploited a loophole in the 13th Amendment to allow convict leasing as a method of continuing slavery in the post-Civil War South. The 13th Amendment, ratified on December 6, 1865, states, "Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall it..."
She just explained to you the 13th Amendment. They said, your rights shall not be infringed upon unless you're in what do they call it? Convicted, or convicted for involuntary servitude, except as punishment for crime, whereas the party shall have been duly convicted. So that means you can be a slave, man, when you get locked up. It's in the laws. Are you understanding what Busy is saying here? You can be convicted because of the laws and be sentenced to be a slave. So think about that. Think about that, man, when you wish jail on somebody, man. Think about that when you tell on somebody, man. Because 9 times out of 10, the person you told on is just trying to get out of an economical status that he's tired of being in. And then you want to get mad, tell on that motherfucker because you ain't trying to enhance your economical standing. That's called jealousy. And it's also called crabs in the bucket shit. I don't care what a nigga do if he getting his family out of this shit using shit to build generational wealth. Huh? They do it.
Exist within the United States, nor any place subject to their jurisdiction. In establishing convict leasing, however, the southern states applied the amendment's qualifying phrase, "except as punishment for crime," in the infamous Black Codes laws to allow lengthy prison terms as punishment for a wide variety of minor crimes from vagrancy to simple indebtedness. Left without the food and housing provided by their former owners, and largely unable to find jobs due to post-war racial discrimination, many newly freed African American slaves fell victim to selective enforcement of the Black Codes laws.
See what I'm saying? They made it illegal for the slaves. They made it, this is teaching. This is not hate. This is teaching. I want to teach everybody. This is for my white people, my black people, my Jamaican people, Spanish people. This is for all of us. They had codes. They had codes and shit to have us locked up for no reason. These are answering your questions about why you see black people or whatever you call these people that walk in America, the condition we're in. It'll explain it. I'm trying to get you to understand. Don't look and be like, oh, that motherfucker just crazy. Oh, he's just a crackhead. Oh, this and that. Bruh, our people are being annihilated.
In his book, Slavery by Another Name, The Re-Enslavement of Black Americans from the Civil War to World War II, writer Douglas A. Blackman contends that while it differed in ways from pre-emancipation slavery, convict leasing was nonetheless slavery, calling it a system in which armies of free men, guilty of no crimes and entitled by law to freedom, were compelled to labor without compensation. were repeatedly bought and sold, and were forced to do the bidding of white masters through the regular application of extraordinary physical coercion. During its heyday, defenders of convict leasing contended that its black convict laborers were actually better off than they had been as slaves. They claimed that by being forced to conform to rigid discipline, observe regular working hours, and acquire new skills, the former slaves would lose their old habits, and finish their prison term better equipped to assimilate into society as free men. Sources: organized labor, legislative reform, political pressure, and economic realities ultimately spelled the end of convict leasing. In reality, however, convict labor had been more transformed than abolished, to work on public sector tasks such as road construction, else Attorney General Francis Peonage to allow convict leasing as a method of continuing slavery in the post-Civil War South. The 13th Amendment, ratified on December 6, 1865, any place subject to the Jurisdiction Code's laws to allow owners, and largely unable to find jobs, slavery by another name, the re-enslavement of black Americans from the Civil War to World War II. Writer Douglas A. Blackman contends that while it differed in ways from pre-emancipation slavery, convict leasing was nonetheless slavery, calling it a system in which armies of free men guilty of no crimes and entitled by law to freedom were compelled to labor without compensation, were repeatedly bought and sold, and were forced to do the bidding of white masters through the regular application of extraordinary physical coercion. During its heyday, defenders of convict leasing contended that its black convict laborers were actually better off than they had been as slaves.
Damn. Why do I do this for my people? Sometimes I don't be wanting to talk about this because I know about this stuff and I be wanting to share it with my family, share it with my friends, my coworkers. But sometimes when I be talking about this, it's not hate. This is what happened. I read this shit, bro. This is what happened. Do anybody care?
They claimed that by being forced to conform to rigid discipline, observe regular working hours, and acquire new skills, the former slaves would lose their old habits, and finish their prison term better equipped to assimilate into society as free men. Sources:
So that's probably what it is, man. That's all we need to know with that. That's all we need to know with that, man. That's all we need to know with that. And I'm gonna tell y'all a story, man. It correlates with what I'm talking about. Yo. And that's how they got the idea of policing. You know what I'm saying? They got the idea of policing through catching slaves. And then once Lincoln so-called won the Civil War and the slaves was so-called free, Juneteenth wasn't invented yet, so that means they didn't know. So there was no Juneteenth or no shit like that. That was in the still didn't know stage. So I can't believe that this ever existed. And it ended 50 years before I was born. Convict leasing. Convict leasing. Yo, R.I.P. to all dead slaves, man, that died during that time, man, building and doing work for them motherfuckers, man. Salute to the slaves. And salute Salute to the mothers who had to see their sons snatched from that shit, for that shit. And their fucking husbands, and their brothers. We live in the greatest country in the world. You know why it's the greatest country in the motherfucking world? Do you know why? Because of that shit. Duh. You would be on top too if you had a bunch of motherfuckers doing everything for free. Duh. I wish I could have a motherfucker hustle for me. For free. I'm like, yo, man, take this, gonna make that money, bring me all that money back. And he don't say nothing, say he don't want nothing. Nigga, I love that shit, nigga. Anybody. But that shit is some real shit, and I got a story, man. When I was locked up, man, I ain't gonna say where, I ain't gonna say none of that shit, but when I was locked up, man, I was on some shit, man, on some shit they had called the Chain Gang. I was out there, man, we was doing yard work, we was putting up fences, we was doing shit around the town, and I knew they was making money off of us. Cause one time we did such a good job, they wanted to take a picture of us in the newspaper. I walked away, nigga. I said, I don't want my picture in that newspaper. You know, jail shit, nigga. Them niggas was proud, though. They were taking a picture like this. Fuck out of here, nigga. Trying to get my time done, nigga, so I can get out of here, nigga. From this motherfucking town, nigga. Yo. I lived a real fucking life, man. Ain't nothing sweet about me. All I'm trying to do is do bigger and better shit, man. As a black man. I hope I educated somebody. Understand the condition why black folks are in the condition they're in. And I understand the plight of black people worldwide. But I'm only interested in the American descendant of the so-called slave. I was born in this country. Brooklyn, USA. Brooklyn, USA. So I have something to say about being in this country. I've been in this country almost 47 years. And I studied this country. And I know how to avoid how they're trying to kill us. Look at me. Yeah, I smoke cigarettes. Yeah, I smoke weed. Yeah, I have me a sip. But that's all I do. I never done any hard drugs. I never done America's hard drugs. I never got caught selling America's dope. Won't do it. I never killed none of my brothers. I never raped none of my sisters. So if you partying with me, nigga, you partying with number energy, man. I ain't with that hide in the bushes shit. Huh? I don't. And I thank God for where he brought me from as a black man. Because if I would have had this information before I was a young kid getting in trouble and hanging around with the wrong people, this would have saved me. So I hope it saves somebody, because they can make you a slave when they lock you up. I hope it touches spirit. That's what Busy MC TV is all about. This ain't about music. This ain't about entertainment. This is about This was teaching tonight. And I want to thank you for being here. Like I said, man, I got big things popping off, man. Yeah. I just be tripping, y'all. I like tripping, man. That's all I do, man. I like to trip, my nigga. November 27th, y'all. Hey, bruh. We so excited. Killer Q, what up, baby? Hey, fellas, man, we gotta stay about that. Stay about that motherfucking system, man. You want a gun, go get it legally, nigga. Go learn how to shoot, go to the gun range. You like drugs, motherfucker? Go get that at the pharmaceutical company. Go learn how to do the shit for real. Just saying. I want to thank y'all for watching Busy MC TV. Why bring you nothing but hot music, dope interviews, and commentary that's rocking the world. I'm feeling the show, man. And I want to thank y'all for understanding what I'm trying to do, man. I'm trying to unite, man. And a lot of people don't understand the Nubian race in America. We gotta have ambassadors to the world, man, because a lot of people got the Nubians in America fucked up. I ain't like nothing they see on TV, nigga. It's better. It's better than TV. Man. Because we live spiritually, man. I live amongst a situation where I'm walking amongst God. And if you put God in your situation, no matter what you're going through, you're going to be leaning like, God be right there, you be straight up like, be straight up. That's what I'm walking with. God tell me to do these things, man. I had shit to do, man. I'm tired. I gotta practice my songs to go in the studio, and then when I'm going to the studio, what's today? Thursday. Oh, I got 3 days to go to the studio. Oh, I gotta write these fucking songs, nigga. Shit is real, you know what I'm saying? I don't be playing out here, man. Y'all think I be just doing this, but it's actually fun to me. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun to me. I could be myself. And that's why I think a lot of people's mad with me, because I'm being myself. I just want to be myself. I don't want to be nobody else. I want to be in tune with the senses. I want to be in tune with the universe. And I want to bring that to you. I want to show you how in tuned I am to the universe. I'm a creator. We all are creators. You gotta tap in what you can create. And that's 100. Gotta find out what you can create. Can you paint? Do you got accounting skills? Can you count money good? Do you display leadership skills? Because that's what the world is looking for. They're looking for people to display leadership skills. And they want to know who the motherfucker is that know how to handle money. And who they can trust. As long as you got a good heart and whatever you want to do, you're going to succeed in it. But make sure your heart is good. You in that motherfucker shit, and you in there on some old scumbag shit. Scumbag shit. You know what I'm saying? Scumbag and scumbag shit. You ain't gonna succeed, you're gonna fail. So like I put in the other post earlier. You derive from respect you fail. You fucking fail, man. Our history is too fucked up to be crabs in a barrel right now. We all gotta work together. We keep letting these record companies snatch our babies, snatch our people, man. We should be doing that for our people. That's why I'm doing this show, man. I'm doing this. All of this is in correlation to what I'm doing. I'm helping my people. What's wrong with a nigga wanting to help his fucking people? This ain't about me, man. I'm a spoiled nigga. You think I don't like keeping my money? I let my money come from other places. But I'm spending my money so my peoples can shine. Thanks. Thank you for fucking with Big ZMC TV. It's just something else. It's just something else, man. Sometimes I bring you things, and sometimes it overwhelms me too, because it be sometimes the first time me hearing some of the information. Take that shit home with you. And apply it to your life to not be in those pitfalls and traps. What it got for you nowadays. And that's why they're giving all these rappers and all these negative rappers and all this shit, all this money, and they can afford all this shit because they're rewarding them for demonic activity. It tells you in the Bible, be ye not of the world. And when you of the world and you of that satanic agenda, you will get rewarded. Like the many viewers I have right now, I'd rather have that real. That's real right here. What I'm looking at, the people that's looking at this, that's real. When you got like 10,000 motherfuckers, you don't know what that is, bruh. You got 1 million motherfuckers, you don't know what that is, bruh. That could be police, robots, scientists. I'm good. I do this for my people. I do this for my family. And that's what the fuck Big ZMC TV is all about. Education. It's for the babies. Cause my son gonna be watching this, man. My daughter gonna be watching this, man. My grandkids gonna be watching this, man. They're gonna be like, yo, That's my granddaddy, that's my daddy. That's my cousin, that's my nephew. So if I was on here giving y'all niggas bullshit, it ain't gonna work, man. I never be on here tripping on no dumb shit, man. Life is too short, and our people are too in a fucked up state for me to be tripping in this shit, man. Echo, what's up, baby? You good? Sleepy? Why you ain't sleep? I ain't getting no rest. But hold on, man, hold on, y'all. Yeah, I'm talking about my people, man. But yeah, man. We in a too fucked up state to be tripping. I love my family, I love my people. But if my people don't love themselves, ain't nothing I can fucking do. And them ain't nothing but true facts. So on that note, I love y'all, man. I'll catch you on the next episode. Thank y'all for watching this. And y'all be easy, man. The show on the 27th, man. Busy MC, man. It's my turn. Alright, y'all. Peace.